up, guys? This is your boy Sean Flack 2.0, the host of the Dad's Life Podcast. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 2. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about consistency. We're going to be talking about pull-ups, and we're going to talk about the outcome of a dad versus son race. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and get into some business. First of all, anything that I'm doing, I'm also a streamer on Mixer. I'm live Wednesday nights at 9 Pacific Standard Time till 10:30. Right now, it's the only day that I'm scheduled to stream, but I usually stream maybe once or twice more during the week. But if you'd like to stay up to date on the times that I do stream, go head over to mixer.com/Sean_Flack and hit that heart button. Anytime I go live, you'll get a notification to your preferred device. Also, you go head over to the website, that's SeanFlack.com, and you'll see everything that I'm doing. That includes the streaming, the blog, the YouTube, the Instagram, and anything and everything you'd like to get in contact with me. So if you have any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts, I always suggest head over there. There's always a way for you to contact me. The best way is going to be on Twitter. That's going to be at SeanFlack. Follow me there. And again, we could talk about anything about dad life, or we could talk about gaming or streaming, or just kind of, being our best selves, I guess. So kind of like, let's get right into it. I always like to start off with something dad life related, because right now, first of all, if you are dads, you guys know we're doing that homeschooling thing. It is, what are we, like week 6 into the coronavirus containment? So I hope that as you guys are listening to the episode or watching here live on Mixer, that's Sean. That's mixer.com/Sean_Flack. That you guys are watching this or listening to this in good health. And I'm considered an essential worker, so I have to go out every day and work, potentially exposing myself and my family to it. But so far, the things that I'm doing and the places that I'm at and all those things, I am keeping myself safe. So I'm hoping that you guys, if you guys are the essential workers as well, you guys are out there keeping yourself safe. And again, we appreciate you all over the country, and all you essential workers all over the world. We appreciate you as well. So hopefully everybody is maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Hopefully we're not eating too much or getting some type of indoor exercise during this time. But the big thing on everybody's plate is our mental health, our self-care, and that is so important, especially in times like this, especially as parents. We want to make sure we're doing things that we can to maintain ourselves, and not only just for the kids, but for our mental. If we're mentally messed up, it's just going to roll over into the kids. So we want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. So I hope and pray that each and every one of you guys that are out there that are, again, mom life, dad life, parent life, step-parent life, grandma life, or whatever, you guys are taking care and providing for your family, that you're taking care of yourselves too. So again, if you are an essential worker, thank you. And if you're not an essential worker, thank you for staying home and helping us prevent the spread of the coronavirus. As far as like catching up on dad life right now, I do have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old, he'll be 4 in August. We've just started potty training, and he's actually been really good at it. But it's pretty interesting, like what you learn as a parent as you go through the different stages of having a little one. And right now we're at that stage where, the wife was like, why do we need pull-ups? Why do we need pull-ups? Like he knows how to use his big boy underwear, and at night we put him in a diaper, and he hasn't had that many accidents until he did have an accident, and it was more like a blowout. So basically the wife had to throw away 3 or 4 pairs of little big boy chonies because they were just like blown out the back, and potentially had to like throw out pants as well, just because he couldn't get to the bathroom soon enough. So if you're at that stage and the wife was like, why do we need pull-ups, that's the reason why, so you don't have to throw away chonies. But if they are having like stomach issues and things like that, pull-ups are a great way. Like I was even against pull-ups because they're a little more expensive. You don't get as many in a pack of diapers, and we all know as parents with little ones, we know diapers are really expensive, and they're literally like throwing away money. So we went to pull-ups, and basically we saved a couple pairs of underwear, so when we know he's having a little bit of an issue or whatever using the restroom, and again, I know it's a little TMI, but that's what we're here to talk about on the Dad's Life podcast, is go for the pull-ups. When they're ready to potty train, go for the pull-ups. Again, they are a little bit more expensive. You don't got to get like the Huggies pull-up, like the pull-up brand. But what I also learned, and I want to share with you guys, is a pull-up is exactly the same thing as a swim diaper. It's the same thing, except they are marketed differently. So if you go into the store, and let's say the pull-ups are really expensive, go check out how much the swim diapers cost. And the wife does all that kind of shopping. But as I'm comparing products, I'm like, well, a swim diaper is a pull-up. So, you know, it's something they slip on and off, and generally they have little tabs on the side. If they have to, like, open up like a regular traditional diaper, they can do that. But again, go with the pull-ups. It'll save you a bunch of chonies. And I think we threw away like 3 pairs of chonies. So again, pull-ups were a great idea. We were initially against it because we thought it was we're throwing away more money. Like, why would we invest or buy pull-ups instead of buying diapers? And well, it's harder for them to get out of the diapers. Versus like a pull-up, it is like a big boy underwear. So anyway, so that's going to be the update on a pull-up. So guys, again, from the Dad's Life perspective, we be talking about that money and stuff's expensive or whatever, but I mean, do you really want to be washing shit out of out of some underwear? Or, do you want to like kind of, if when accidents happen, you deal with it like it's a diaper? So anyway, that is the take on pull-up. So again, plus side, get them, invest in them. Again, if you can, you could also, if you go to the pool or whatever, eventually when everything opens back up, you don't got no swim diapers, go ahead and grab a pull-up because it's the same exact thing. So anyway, the next thing that kind of happened in Dad Life, this happened today, and I'm a little bit sore for it. Oh wow, I'll finish it in a second. But I'm a little bit sore because the boy decided that he wanted to, so I have a 15-year-old as well. So I have a teenager and toddler, so I'm like all over the place. So the 15-year-old, he's been feeling himself lately. So, I'm like, you out here kind of puffing up, man. Do you want to like, you want to challenge me to a foot race? So of course, I'm trying to be big bad dad, haven't raced this boy since he was about 7, when I smoked him. But so now he's 15. So I go lace up my little I have Vibrant 5-finger shoes or zero drop shoes. I'm a big fan of them. But anyway, I go ahead and grab some of those, put those on, whatever. This dude done smoked me like a joint on a Friday night. Right? Mind you, I'm about 23 years older than him and overweight. Not overweight, plus size modeled. I'm a plus size model. And he smokes me. So I'm just like, damn, he got me. So anyway, we got, okay, best out of 5, best out of 3. So, this time, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to run this far. You got to run this far. Kind of playing with him or whatever. But the lesson was, like, he actually is on his distant learning stuff, and he's supposed to be running every week, 3 times a week, and he really does not like to run, so he does this small-ass, I'm going to do the bare minimum. So anyway, I challenged him to this, and then at the end, I was, he beat me again, which is fine, and that's something like, as a father, you look at your son or your kids, you want them to be better than you anyway. Even though if it came down to it, I still knock him down on his butt, which I'll talk about that in a second. But at the same time, I know he's growing, he's getting faster or whatever. So again, I appreciate and I do, love the fact that he did beat me, whatever. I'll swallow my pride on that one. But anyway, kind of going back into, the lesson was, well, dude, when you're challenged to something, you put 110% in. When you're asked to do the same exact thing, but you don't want to do it, you don't put that much effort in. And right now, as you guys know, if you've listened to any of the back episodes, he has ADHD, and we're dealing with all these different ways and different methods of trying to teach him and get him off of his medication, and using different holistic things as well. So anyway, he was like, yeah, you're right. And we've had the discussion before. But anyway, after that fact, I was like, you know what? So I'm going to challenge you to one more thing, one more competition. He's like, okay, what is it? I'm like, it's boxing. So he laughs and he's like, no, no. And then the wife is laughing. She's like, well, I know he was going to beat you in a foot race, but when it comes to boxing, I know where I'm going to put my money because, you know, Mr. Golden Gloves right here, you know, I throw things, you know what I'm saying? I throw heat. And so anyway, he was like, no, no, Dad, we're not going to do that one. I was like, okay, cool. At least we have that much respect. Anyway, so those are the updated things with toddlers and teens that's kind of going on. Everybody's being affected by being stay at home. Like the teen, he can't go out and hang out with his friends. He can't go back to school and do all the school things. He is a freshman this year, so it's not like he missed out big like some of the seniors are doing. So again, really unfortunate time for this to be happening during somebody's senior year. But he is a freshman this year, so he didn't really lose out on that much. But he is definitely being affected by that, the stay or shelter in place orders. And currently in our area, I live in Northern California. They've been extended all the way up to May, the end of May. So they're hopefully thinking that the schools will be opened up by the end of July, which is actually when he's at a year-round school, is when his school would open back up. So hopefully, crossing our fingers, that'll be what's next on the agenda. All right. So the next thing is going to be, what do we got? That's a dad life update. If you guys got any questions, comments, or concerns, questions, comments, emotional outbursts on anything dad life, if you are a dad, you're a new dad, old dad, you want to share your experiences, share your best practices, hit me up on Twitter. All of the dad life and all of that particular content is geared around what you guys, the listeners or the viewers, want to talk about. Again, I am not the best dad by far, but I am trying. And of course, being able to have a group of men that are trying to do the same exact thing for our young children, our young men out there, is always a plus. So again, if you guys want to hit me up and talk about any kind of topic when it comes to being a dad, don't be afraid to hit me up on Twitter at Sean Flax. The best way to get me. That'll get right to my phone. All right, moving on to the next topic. We are going to be talking about consistency. And in this particular case, how I am a failure at consistency. Last week we talked about inspiration, or in the last episode we talked about inspiration. So if you haven't checked that one out, season 3, episode 1, I talked about inspiration. And I talked about like what motivates you, like who in your life, outside of your father or your mother or whoever was in the household, what, did a coach inspire you, or did watching somebody work hard and achieving their success inspire you? So I talked about my drama teacher, and I was big into theater, and I was big into like stage acting, and I wanted to be a director, and that's what kind of started this whole thing about wanting like broadcast, right? That I wanted to create content that people would enjoy and that would learn something from. So I talked about inspiration. Again, I did talk about, Holla at Your Homie section, about my friend Candace and what she was doing as far as like fitness, mind, body, and health at a time of bad stress and all that stuff. So again, this week we're going to be talking about consistency. So you could be motivated, you could be watching people, you could be doing this and you could be doing that. And you can be inspired, but what, to have a goal, to get somewhere, but what it's going to take is consistency. And, like I said, I'm not the best. I'm not the number one guy to be talking to you about this, and I'm not one to preaching to you. I want to let you guys know that with consistency and a good plan and being motivated in the correct way, you can achieve your goals. Now, if you're not as consistent as you want to be, and that includes in anything, we're talking about work, physical life, physical fitness, health, things like that, the less you are consistent, the longer it's going to take you to get to your goal. Does that mean you won't get there? No. But you might get there a little faster if you are consistent. And so, again, the theme today is going to be about streaming. And, again, so interesting that I'm going to be talking about the guy that was in chat, if he's still in chat. One of the people that I've seen grow, and I've seen like the main thing that I could learn from him is how consistent he is. And so we are talking about Grimlock the Dino. And I always talk about this guy because, when it comes to certain subjects or whatever, this guy's amazing. But he's consistent. He's been consistently not only just like streaming every day, but he has been consistently growing his stream, networking with people that are around him, and then also working on the production value of it. So I've seen him go from, I made like a homemade, stinger transition, and then he made one, and then he kind of upped it and did this, and then then he's taken time to do different overlays for different games he's playing, and so kind of like setting the theme and the tone, and then like he's built out, he has a more equipment than I do, because I'm taking cues from, like, I'm taking my upgrade path, kind of like to see what he has going on. But he's definitely not only just got to a certain point when it comes to like streaming on a consistent basis, but also getting his equipment to where it needs to be. But he's consistently growing. And what I mean by that, like if you watched his transitions from older videos to where they are now, and the things that they're doing, and like the screens and all those things are consistently progressing and growing. So not only does it take the effort, but it also takes the consistent mind frame of where you want to be versus where you are. And effort in itself may not be the only thing that's going to get you there, or what you're going to need to get there. Effort is great. Effort is definitely going to get you in that path of moving, but to take that consistent mind frame of, hey, I need to grow and do this. I need to learn and then do this. I need to, mold, what I have in front of me into a product that, where I want to see the growth that I'm seeing. And he has, and that I would have to say right there. I've seen him from one night to next. He's like fighting for 100, then 300, then he hit 500, and he's fighting for like, and I want to say one night I saw him under 500 or just making 500 to like hitting 800. And that is not, he's not out there begging for anything, but he's out there putting a really good product, networking, making people feel like he is, like they're part of his stream, not necessarily just watching it. And he's a decent player, I guess. He's decent. But, just an example of consistent growth, consistent effort, and how fast you can get to your goal based upon different levels of consistency. So it wasn't just effort, but it was his drive to grow his stream. And for me, going right back into last week's episode, that inspires me to kind of walk that same path and to work on things consistently, and then also apply the theory of being consistent into other aspects of my life. And then knowing that if I'm not consistent in the goals that I set for myself, I know eventually I'll get there, but I might not get there as fast as I want to be. So yeah, again, just watching people and observing people and taking what I can and learning what to do and sometimes what not to do, and sharing it here, and hopefully, being a father, that's a theory I'm trying to teach my son, is he has to be consistent. He can't be putting an effort 1, 2, 3 days and then fall off because he's lost the sight of what he wanted to do. Being consistent about anything you want to do, if it's streaming, if it's being a good father, if it's, your career, like if you're going for that BA, if it's school, if it's acting, if it's whatever it is, the consistency is not only in the effort, but it's also in the willing to learn and grow. So with that, my final thought on that is, with inspiration, we're going to go right into consistent effort and consistent willingness to grow. You definitely want to have both, because in the end, that's what's going to take you to the next level. And for Grim, watching him grow from where he was, and I think originally, and again, I've only known Grim for a couple years now, but I believe he originally started on Twitch, and he decided that Twitch wasn't the best place for him, and he moved, and he grew, and he built that community that he has now. And again, just seeing those payoffs, but not oh yeah, great Grim, blah blah blah. It's more of like, well, how did you get there? So I could utilize that same type of pathing to get to where I want to be. So again, yes and no. Shout out to Grimlock the Dino, and thank you for being that example of consistent grind, whatever you guys want to call it, the consistent grind, the consistent effort, the consistent want to learn and grow. But being that example for the particular episode today. So shout out to you. And if you guys don't know who he is, again, I did write up a blog on him on, SeanFlack.com. Go ahead and check that out and be on the lookout for other blogs from other streamers, but also taking a lesson from a gamer and being able to apply that to being a parent or to, working on your career goals or your school goals or whatever goals you set for yourself, your fitness goals. You definitely could learn from other people in other ways, in different industry, in different places, what you can do. And what a lot of people see, they'll see growth and they'll get jealous and they'll be like, damn, he must be lucky. And in the background, it's not even that. It's about effort. It's about consistent. It's about the growth. So anyway, closing out on our major topic about going from inspiration, going into consistent effort and the ability to learn and grow. If you guys got any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts on that particular topic, don't forget to hit me up on Twitter. That's at Sean Flack, the best way to get me. Basically closing out the episode today, I want to thank everybody that decided to come in. I want to thank, obviously always going to be the, the Gamezilla Media gaming community. If you guys don't know who they are, all of their information is in my info below. And again, shout out to all the homie gaming folks that have come in. I'm on Facebook. I'm looking at Facebook. People are liking the post, showing that love. If you don't know who they are, you can check them out on Facebook. It's the Homie Gaming Network, and it's a bunch of streamers, like-minded streamers that, want to help each other grow and learn and share best practices. Again, interesting enough, being part of the gaming community, you would not believe how diverse, how strong, how much unity they have with each other and all around the love of video games. So anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts, you know how to hit me. You can head over to SeanFlack.com for everything that I'm working on. And if you are listening to this or watching this tonight on Mixer, I always mess this up, Mixer.com/Sean_Flack. I'm going to try to be live every Wednesday night at 9. We're going to get started. Well, we got started a little early on this one, but streaming, I'm hanging out, working on different things or whatever. And until the next episode, we'll talk to you later, and peace.